No idea.
Right? I bet it's like maybe, I bet it's over $100 an hour.
Okay.
Right?
That's great.
You know, I mean,
Very
if you
good.
think about it, like I know somebody that got out of real estate business, took a job as a telemarketer, making $18 an hour, telemarketing 7 hours a day. Like,
That sucks.
are you kidding me? Like,
Right, because they're getting the business for somebody else, not for themselves.
I know,
Right.
that's the whole thing.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. He knew, I remember he was sitting across from me at the desk, and as he was saying it, he realized the absurdity of it. Like, because he was willing to do that for someone else at $18 an hour, but he wouldn't do it for himself at $100+ an hour, right? Same job, basically.
And the reason why I really don't
It
do
was-
a lot of buyers too is because that schedule is tough. And if you are working from 7:45 in the morning and doing all that, and then you're trying to deal with buyers who want to go see houses at 8 o'clock at night, you cannot do a schedule like that and be sane. So that's why I very rarely do buyers. I either refer them, or they're only people that I really, if I know them well.
So the upside is predictability, scheduling, and I had a third one there. You can't remember. Predictability and ability to get a schedule, right?
Well, and you build a database too.
And you build
right?
a database
Right.
over time. Developing repeat business with that. Okay, I'm gonna skip, because Shelby, I'm gonna skip just to mix up the order so that Shelby stays on her toes.
This is true. That's fair.
Fair enough?
That's fair.
Yeah, okay. Do we have any other questions before, oh, she's drinking more water.
I know.
All right, we'll go to Shelby, because Shelby, now we have a different way of purposefully going about our lead gen, and that is social media, right?
So,
And so tell us a little bit more about your kind of background and what you've been through in real estate.
yeah, so just for the background purpose, I was Amber when I started in real estate. I joined a very competitive team. I was on the exact same schedule that she is now on. I made 300 calls a day. I was so scripted. If you ever saw me in the office, I was in all black, and I was like, I was the biggest bitch. I was so terrible. And then I realized that I actually truly hated that. Nothing about that was going to fulfill me in my life, and so I decided to make a very big change. I left the team and I became an independent agent. That was after about a year in the business. So I already had this head start because I did have all of this previous experience with this team that was so great. But I realized I didn't know anything about how to actually build a real estate business that is long lasting and that I truly cared about and loved. And the reality is that I love my clients. They're my people, they're my friends. So I would say my business is a combination of social media and Sphere and referrals now. And now I'm starting to even head farther into social media using some of those.
And so what's that look like? How can you be purposeful about social media?
Well, this is going to sound really strange, but it kind of comes naturally to me.
Well, you like it.
I do.
You like it. Like,
I
you
do.
like what you do, and you like what you do. And you're having fun with what you do on the team. I mean, I think it counts for a lot.
Sure. And also, I mean, I work primarily with first-time home buyers and sellers, and that social media is where those people are. They're spending more time in front of their phones than they are with others. They trust people a lot quicker on social media. People between the ages of 18 and 30 trust people quicker on social media than people older than 30. So if you can go and find those people and build their trust on social media and then meet them, that's going to cement that relationship for you, and that's kind of how I've grown my business. So most of my business takes place on Instagram and Facebook. Go figure. I do have business pages on both. However, I'd say most of my relationships come from my personal pages.
That ain't it. How do you do it? Okay, so those are the facts.
Yes. How do I do it?
Yeah.
Actually, I asked all of my followers right before the class. What did I say exactly? Hold on, let me check. So I asked them, I said, friends, I'm about to teach a class in my office and I would love your input. Think about a social media profile that you love to follow. What is about that person or brand and their content that makes you trust them? And I've got a ton of really fantastic answers, but I would say the answer that I loved the most was from my friend Lauren, and she said, they are like-minded and show vulnerability in a way that seems real and not for likes. The reason why I think that's important is because that's probably the thing that I focus on the most, is I live my real life on social media. It's
Not just what you want
it's not
people to
all
perceive.
Right. It's
Yeah.
all not all pretty. It's not all selling. It's not all, bland and fancy. It's just
Mhm.
being vulnerable in front of 3,000 people.
So I've heard that over and over and over, that, obviously there's some authenticity, or at least some really good fake authenticity. Right, that happens. I'm not, I think that wasn't very good. There's very calculated, there's very, because like,
shady up in here.
authenticity. Would you agree there's some of that out there? I mean, come on. But eventually over time, it's gonna get sniffed out, right? So there's an authentic nature to it. Okay, but still, that's not enough. How is this leading to signed contracts, commission checks? Get me from authenticity on social media, because that's where, all that, to a commission check. Like, and a lot of them.
Okay.
I know something that you do really well. A lot of people just post, right? So they're posting what they're doing, what they're eating for dinner. It's pictures or a video of their kids or whatever. You engage. So you'll ask a question, or you'll say, "What do you think about this thing that I'm doing?"
Yeah.
And then I think that creates a conversation, because they say, "Hey, I will say, where's that restaurant?" Or, "I love that outfit you're wearing. Oh, it's a boutique in OTR. By the way,
Yeah.
I'll be down there for an appointment. What's your situation?" That's how you engage.
It's a lot of engagement. Some might even call it an addiction.
Yeah.
But yes.
I'm just thinking about, because for Bold, right? Like, you can't use social media or text messaging, because it
What?
doesn't.
And bold?
I get the point. It's just that it seems outbound, but it becomes a contact when it becomes a conversation, and you're actually getting to a place where you can say, "Can we meet for 15 minutes on Tuesday?"
Sure.
Whereas
Absolutely.
it's not just you putting a sign in the yard like, "Hey, I do real estate."
Right.
That's not an engagement,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
But you engage.
Okay, so I'm engaged, now what?
Gosh. So this is where it gets difficult for me, because you gave us a definition of lead generation earlier, and I just thought, shit, I'm a marketer. I'm not. Like, I am. But as far as social media is concerned, I'm putting content. I'm putting my life out there. People know I'm in real estate because I do things like
Post you're about to teach a class.
post I'm about to teach a class, or like I took a picture of the new office the other day, and it's just very subtle things, and it did not happen overnight, and it continues to grow organically in that way.
But would you say you're consistent about when you post and how often and?
Yes.
Do you have a strategy around that?
No.
An actual strategy?
Okay,
Some
so
do.
this is a pretty big piece of it. My business profiles, I pay someone to manage those. So someone creates the content for that, someone manages that calendar and when that happens.
What do you mean? Who do you pay? What do they do? What's the content?
I use a website called Upwork, which you can go and hire.
Yep.
What's it
Upwork.
called?
Upwork. Yeah. She's a 22-year-old girl from Charlotte, and I interviewed her. We have very similar voices. We have similar personalities, and I basically give her free reign, and then every month she'll send me the list of what she's going to post, and I will edit it and look over it, and then she'll schedule and post everything for me. So that, I would say, is how most of the actual lead generation happens, because those are people that I don't know. The people who are liking those pictures, who are following that account, I do not know them. However, it usually leads to them following my personal account, them learning who I am,
Mhm.
and then eventually reaching out to me or vice versa.
Mhm. So, yeah,
Okay, so I'm very social, and a lot of people that I've been running into, like I do a lot of personal stuff. This is my whole life on social, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And just like the other day, I just dropped a couple gems for what to do as far as the home buying process, which sparked a lot of interest. So I get a lot of inboxes, calls, or whatever. My thing is converting those people into actual buyers, because what I do now is try to get them to, get pre-approved or at least contact the lender first, and then, because I explained that whole process, like, the first thing we gotta do is get pre-approved, and then we go from there. We actually sit down and have a meeting, but that's where it tapers off at. So how do, what do you do to convert those people that's contacting you from there? Like, is there a different step that you take?
So I actually include my preferred loan officer in a lot of my posts and a lot of, videos. It helps that we're really good friends too, so he's just naturally in my life a lot of the time.
Right.
And so people are already familiar with him usually by the time they come to me and say they're interested in buying a house, and I say, hey, my friend Matt, you've seen him before. If it's cool with you, I'm gonna have him give you a call, and then we'll go from there. He's the better closer of the two of us.
Right.
So I get them to him first,
Right.
and then he talks me up, and then that's kind of how that connection usually happens.
that's good. That's a strategy. She's not doing the closing. She's getting connected with the lender, providing a service. The lender is essentially closing them on the fact that they're
Yeah.
pre-approved for a loan. Now we know they're serious. Now it's time to engage. Now it's
And my
time.
thing about that is,
Yeah.
with the Keller Mortgage thing, because I got it on my app now.
Mhm.
So I share my app on my page. So it's just like I sent a couple
Have
people to that. So
multiple.
it's just like
Keller Mortgage is going to be your virtual option for the person that would go that route. Think about to compete against like a Quicken. I think you still need a brick and mortar local
yeah,
partner that's
somebody
going to
still
be
like,
with you.
that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to trust.
Yeah,
Can I
for
tell you
sure.
what we do? So do you have a specific lender that you work with?
I have some lenders that I have at least like 2 to 3 lenders that I recommend people call.
In different areas, so that's what we do. We ask if we can have our lender call them, because they're
Yeah.
never gonna call the lender. And then if you have a good relationship with that lender, then a lot of times they'll be on your side. Oh, he's a great guy, and he takes really good care of me, so that's fine. Then they report back to us, like then I'll, call them during the week and say, hey, you talked to George yesterday, just keep in contact with them, so that's.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
how-
yeah, about all them. I'm just texting me today saying he's trying to follow up with a couple people. So
Yeah,
So Shelby, do you track your business as far as sourcing at all?
Yes.
Like, okay, if you were to say then social media provides what? Did you tell me that before? Was it like, what percent?
So it gets tricky because
Right.
in 100% of my business is done through my sphere, and I include social media in that because usually it's still a relationship that I've had previously. It's just I'm staying in front of them a lot more often than I would have. For example, I might have a girl that I went to high school with that I never talked to, but we know we went to high school together, as a friend on Facebook, and her husband are interested in buying a house, and they've seen 6 of my business page posts over the last 6 months, and so I have mind share. I'm the agent that they're gonna call. Technically, she knows me, but it's really my social media presence that convinced her to reach out to me.
You have mind, does everybody get the concept of mind share? Okay, good. You have mind share. Here's the thing. Here's the purposefulness about it. Yes, you're living your authentic life on social media, et cetera, et cetera. Part of that authentic life is that you are a realtor. And you are talking about real estate, and you are purposely doing real estate related things. As authentic as that is, it's still purposeful.
Sure.
To be talking about is the same thing as you talking about, at a party or at an event or at, that kind of a thing. It's just you're doing it in a virtual world more purposefully.
Yeah. Well, and here's a perfect, we'll take last night, for example.
Okay.
My husband and I own a restaurant, and we were on the patio last night, and this girl was eating her dinner, and she came up to me, and she was like, "You're Shelby Newman." And I was like, "I am."
Depends.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Hello. And she's like, "I followed you on Instagram for like 2 years now." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so awesome." She's like, "My husband and I are thinking about buying a house."
That's funny.
And I'm like, "Oh." So I have to ask now, do you follow my personal page or do you follow my business page? She's like, "Both." Followed your personal page first, and then you mentioned your business page, and so I followed that too. And now we're gonna sit down. She's meeting with my lender today.
How did that happen exactly? You're having there, you're doing, well, she said, we're gonna buy a house. How did you move it to the next level purposely? Just in, well, you need to meet my lender, what's the,
I asked them like, "Oh, what does that process look like right now for you? Where are you in that process?" And she's like, "Oh, we haven't even started yet.
Good question.
We have no idea what to do."
where are you in that process, right? At some point you can't just be like, oh, no kidding. You can't wait for them to be like, so will you help me find a house? Like, at some point you have to move
Yes.
them along,
Yeah.
right? And close that gap.
Right.
So any one of these methods is always about a conversation at some point, right? I don't care if any bit of marketing, any bit of social, at some point you're having a face-to-face conversation, or at least a conversation on telephone. It all leads to that moment, whether it be cold calling, networking, talking about, it comes to that. So you always have to know what to do, right? So in this instance, pre-approval process. I think that's a great question no matter what. Where are you in this process? What's your timing like?
Well, and that's digging into motivation as well.
Correct.
Because you're like, well, how soon? I mean, anybody says we're thinking about it. Were you thinking about it in the next 30 days, or are you thinking about it in the next 5 years?
Yeah, almost, you can almost at that point, last night, insert the expired, part of the expired listing script.
Well,
right?
and that's what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
because that's where I started. So that's naturally where my mind goes, is like, okay, tell me where you're going. Tell me what's important about going there. Tell me when you're trying to get there. Let's talk about how I can get you there. I mean, it sounds different.
Proven conversations that get results, right? It's just that person found you, you found them, however you want to, you know what I mean? It happened in a virtual world to get to the point of that conversation. You reached out, you called, you had that, almost the same conversation, right?
Right.
It's just,
That's why I count it as a contact.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why what, Sarah?
Just saying.
What did you say?
And then that's why I count that as a contact or board, because a big part of my business is social media too. And for me, if I'm having an interaction with somebody on social media about real estate, that's a contact.
Oh, I did. Well, here's a really easy way. If you guys haven't done this yet, if you haven't made the Kelly Snap post, 100% do that. Laura told me to do it yesterday, and I got like 18 responses and 2 leads just from.
So what was the post?
Uh,
Yeah, it's like,
Hey, Keller Williams has this new app.
yeah.
Yeah, post
Yeah.
your zip code.
Post your
something,
zip
right?
code
Yeah.
and I'll
Give
send
me-
you a market snapshot.
Right. Yeah.
Can you show me how to do that? Because I'm real dumb with that.
Yes, I can.
Tomorrow.
yeah,
Tomorrow
I
at
learned today.
2:30.
What's tomorrow at 2:30?
We're having command labs tomorrow at 2:30. We're going to show you the new, what Kelly can do. I can also show you later. What Kelly and what command can do.
One important thing is that it's updated, Slime is updated, and that's why I like it.
Oh, update the app. Oh, smart.
So I would say again, my consistency in theme here is purposefulness, consistency over time, letting people know what you do, right? Not being shy about that. And I would say in almost any realm, there's a sense of authenticity that has to be there. Or it's going to get sniffed out pretty quick.
Well, she likes what she does. She said that in the
That's
very
right.
beginning, like, I'm really good at it, I'm a natural, I like it. I mean, so you're going to do something more and more consistently if all of those things apply too, so it makes it
Mhm.
easier.
Mhm.
And you are more authentic then.
Yeah. Any specific questions or comments for Shelby before we move on? Yeah?
Do you use, I've heard of some apps that post for you ahead of time, so you go in and set it up, and then they auto, like, on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, send it out for you. Do you have any of those that you use?
So I don't do that, but my social media manager, she definitely does. She goes in and she'll put in all the drafts and then schedule all of them on Facebook.
I used that for a while, I forget what I used.
Preview is really good.
Yeah.
Preview app.
Okay.
I have a good, can I tell this sort of super
Please do.
quick about the cold
course.
calling, but also at the same time your sphere kind of works together too. So
Totally.
today, actually at noon, I had a closing for a buyer that was referred to me by a lender friend of mine. But the way we found her house is from a previous cold call that I had made
Oh.
in an area that she kind of wanted to be. So I had called and I got this guy and he had renters in this house and he said that the renter was having marital problems and he thought they were gonna break up. So he didn't know how long they were gonna stay in this house. So of course I'm like, drip campaign, call this dude again. So,
Yes, divorce.
yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I didn't want that, but I wanted the house. So I called him and I kept in touch. Hey, remember me? I was the one, hey, just wondering how things are going over there. Are you thinking about selling? Are you gonna run again? So we kind of stayed in touch a little bit. So then I got this buyer who's looking in that exact area and around the corner were her parents and she wanted to be in this area. So I called the guy and I was like, hey, guess what? I actually think I have a buyer for your house. So, but it turned out he had an agent, which was Amber Howard at Pinnacle, Associate Partners, which is totally fine because she's cool and I love her. But it was like so crazy because,
Aw.
so didn't even go through the MLS or anything. We just closed on it today. So it was a cold call that I had made to this guy. And then he was like, well, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I do have an agent. I was like, great, get her on the phone. Who is it? So that's how we kind of made it happen.
It
So,
stands to
come from
reason that if you're talking to
Right.
people about real estate every day, you're going to be able to put
the
deals
connection.
together.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
That's awesome.
Shelby, what are we not asking you that we should be?
Can I ask a question to you?
Yep,
Oh,
go ahead, Sarah.
so do you do any paid part of social media? Like, do you pay for any kind of advertising on social media?
I usually do around specific listings that I feel like are attractive to my target client, I guess. And usually that's on Facebook and that's actually why, so on most of my listings I do a drone video and I always boost these videos because people love them.
I love them.
Yeah.
Kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah, so I actually, and I'll be really honest, I don't get these videos to sell the house. I get the videos to
For
put on
lead
social
generation.
media to lead generate.
There's dual purpose in all
Yeah.
marketing, I think, if you're a smart agent.
Absolutely, yeah. And so that's basically the only thing that I will pay for. I don't sponsor anything else. And that's just, I pay for the person to create the content and post it, and that's all the money I have.
How much is your drone videos?
It depends on how long I'm looking for them to be. Usually they're 1 minute and I pay like $3.50 for each.
They're
And I
good
can-
videos too, they're not.
Yeah, the guy who does them is fantastic. He's a good friend of mine. I'd be happy to share his contact information.
Who's the guy? Share it.
Brian Spitzig is his name and he runs Timbre Creative Company.
Cool.
Yeah, I've actually put it in the Facebook
did,
group.
yeah.
In our Facebook group, I posted it in like last week, I
Yeah.
think, so you can probably find it there too.
Okay. Any other questions? So Sarah, last but not least, so you are. Tell us about you and how how long you've been doing this too long.
No. I've been an agent for a year and a half.
Yeah,
Russian it.
and crushing it,
Oh,
no doubt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mainly my business is sphere of influence based, so I like you guys. Grew up in Cincinnati. Graduated from Sycamore. I barely left. I went to Miami for college and came back. My husband's family's here. My family's here. My family is in Westchester too. So I have like really deep roots in Cincinnati, and I'm a 99I. So I love people, and I love getting to know people. I'm that annoying person who's like, you're checking out with groceries. I'm like, hey, I love your shoes. Oh.
So
not
being
annoying.
in the disc profile, are we familiar with disc profiles, what an I is? An I is a people person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay.
So that's really.
And you're a DI for sure.
I'm a DI.
Yeah.
I'm an ID.
I'm an ID.
And I'm an
Yeah,
ID.
we're-
So I just love people. I love getting to know people. Right before I did recruiting, right before I did real estate, I did recruiting, and so I really started my business with Sphere of Influence. I got advice from somebody. They said, just put together a list of everybody you know, and so I did. I put together a list of, like I was saying earlier, like all my friends, family, people from my Facebook, from my Instagram, people from my email. My mom knows, people my grandma knows. Everybody was on that list, and I categorized them sphere of influence because I knew them. They were my Mets. And my first thing I did was write handwritten notes, and I sent that.
What
out
the
to-
handwritten notes say?
Probably have a picture of it somewhere. I basically just said, hey, I don't know if you've heard the exciting news. I just got now I'm a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams. I tried to make it personal depending on who I was sending it to. That's why it took 4 weeks to do. But it was worth it. So I went on people's Facebook pages and found out, like, I saw you're recently engaged. Congrats. It was just a short little square note I sent to everybody.
Roughly how many of those?
There was over 520.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
And it was very expensive. It was
That's
not cheap.
amazing.
It was not cheap. But here's a tip. I got cardstock from Staples, and I printed it out myself and sliced it here. Bought little crappy little envelopes, and the most expensive part was just my time and the stickers. But I documented all that in my database getting started, and I will tell you, literally, that's what kickstarted my business, and still to this day I'm getting
That's
referrals.
awesome.
What are you on track to do this year volume-wise?
Volume-wise, I'm intending to close at least 40 deals with $8 million in volume. So,
That's
40 deals.
fantastic.
Does that seem like this 520 handwritten notes? It's like, oh my God, that's
got
so
carpal tunnel,
horrible.
but
On track to close.
And after a year and a half, that's amazing.
yeah, thanks.
Amazing.
So that's really a big part of my business, just sphere of influence and the Mets. So, that's a really big thing that I focus my business on. Yeah.
So how would you describe your purposefulness so that was when you started,
That's right when I started,
on a
yeah.
regular basis, weekly basis,
Yeah.
daily basis, how would you describe purposefulness in that regard?
Yeah, totally. I would say social media integrates a lot with mine, similar to Shelby. Our business is very similar. A lot of my business is first-time home buyers or people maybe who haven't bought in like 5 to 8 years and are buying their second home because they have kids. And so I am very integrated with social media every morning. Literally, it's part of my lead gen, is getting on Facebook. And I don't know if this is Aaron Smith or Monica Weekly or someone, but it's literally very purposeful interactions on social media. So I'll get on social media and see what's going on in my friends' lives. And maybe they're not even my friends, they're my old high school
Yeah.
friends.
Everyone gets a happy birthday.
Everybody gets a happy
yeah.
birthday with a gift.
First, right.
Sometimes you're lucky. But I also
It's a happy birthday that stands out.
literally I will go on
The,
Facebook once a week on Monday mornings. I go on Facebook and I look at my birthday list. And I handwrite
Yep.
birthday cards to every single person I see who has a birthday on there. And then I also put it on in my database that Joe Schmo's birthday is today, and so every time my database comes the next year, it will show me it's their birthday.
Do you call them as well?
No,
You just send them a card and then post a gift
Yeah.
on their
Yeah.
Facebook page.
literally,
Usually post
I
a
write them
birthday
a card, and if I don't have their address, I will write on their Facebook page. I try to always write on their Facebook page, anyways.
How many birthdays a week are we looking at there?
Normally, I probably write 12 cards a week. It's not that many.
Sure.
And I do it once a
write
week.
6.
So I write it, maybe sometimes it's 3,
Yeah,
sometimes
just
I
on
write.
average, but
Yeah.
what you're looking at.
And some of them live in Chicago and, all over the place.
It's a habit.
It's a habit.
It's
And Aaron Smith's
consistent.
the one who really got me into that. And I buy my bulk 50 birthday cards on Amazon, and they're cheap. They're like $10 for 50 cards. And again, the most expensive part's the postage. So
I send Starbucks gift cards
Yeah.
with mine, but I don't do any branding on this. This is just a
That was going to be
Happy
the next
birthday.
question. Do
No
you?
branding.
no,
Branded
not
at
at
all?
all. I don't mention anything about real estate in my birthday cards. Just happy birthday.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook, or I saw on Instagram, or
Yeah.
someone I know told me you were expecting another baby. Congratulations, whatever it might be. And I'll send not just birthday cards, but like if I saw someone got engaged or married or had a baby. The only time I send gift cards is it's ingrained in my referral business. So if someone says, hey, my friend's looking to buy or sell, or someone calls me saying, so-and-so recommended me that I call you, I will handwrite them a note and mail them a $10 Starbucks gift card. Then coffee me, thanks for the referral.
Yeah. Target has a really cute thanks a latte card.
That's cute.
That's my go-to.
That is cute.
So are you saying like 5, 10, 20, I mean, because that could get expensive.
It does get expensive, but I also need the
40
tax
deals.
deduction, so, you
So
know.
what do you,
True that.
you do
Write it off,
10
bro.
or what do you, 15?
We usually do 10. Yeah.
Yeah, $10. And I just read the book Perk Your Sphere, which is about rewarding those who give you referrals.
That's a good book.
Kelsey currently has mine. If anyone wants to borrow it, you can borrow it. It's like this big of a book. But it's about rewarding
real
your
fast.
sphere.
Same
And
thing Denise was doing, talking
Yeah,
about
exactly.
rewarding good behavior.
Totally. And that's,
Yep.
people really appreciate that. Like, and this is so, and I don't do it for this reason. But like yesterday, one of my clients, she had back surgery, and so I wrote her a little note, and at her showing, I handed her a card. So this is just for you. Like, I know you've been, having some, I made like a joke on getting Grater's ice cream. And she put it on her Instagram and said, best realtor ever. And she showed the card and the gift card that I got her. And I like have had 2 people message me from that. And so it's not like, I'm absolutely coming from a point of contribution, I promise. But it's also like people love getting like recognized.
People love being loved. Like, people love being loved.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can probably all say that about
Yeah.
our lives in general.
If someone sends you a card,
Well, you
Yeah.
do well by doing good.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
I mean,
forget,
being-
they did actually.
yeah, totally.
yeah.
But she's consistent, she doesn't forget anybody's birthday,
Well,
makes her little list,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's not-
social media people.
It is not accidental.
Yeah.
It is not just because
Yeah.
you're a nice person. It is very
I am
purposeful
purposeful
and
behind it,
consistent
yeah.
over